Okay, so we're back recording, and we're going to move on to our second assessment, which is face, head, neck. Face, head, neck. All right, so we have our first assessment under our wing. We're going to move now over to face, head, and neck. So again, as with all the assessments, and this one is no different, I told you that all the assessments start out the same way, right? We're going to go in, we're going to introduce ourselves, we're going to provide for patient privacy, and we're going to ask the patient the reason for their visit. That's standard. All of the competencies start that way. And so again, we get our points by doing that and ending our assessment appropriately. This assessment is a little different because instead of the 4 that I gave you, which are your key 4, inspect, auscultate, percuss, palpate, we're asked to inspect facies, assess cranial nerves. For this assess skill, I changed it to ask. Ask, A-S-K. To assess these cranial nerves, you'll have to ask the patient something. Then we see go down to neck and lymph. It's going to be inspect, palpate, palpate. And we go down on this cranial nerve related to the shoulders. I also put ask, A-S-K. And also for testing range of motion, it's an ask as well, A-S-K. So again, we always start with our inspection skill. Always, what is it that we see? So that's always our jump off place. In this case, when looking at the face and the head, what do you see on the face and the head? It says facies, symmetry, expression, affect. That's what we're looking to describe. So again, I will use me as an example. Again, for symmetry is the left side of the face. I'll take my glasses off so you can see and I can see. Does the left side of the face look like the right side of the face? Right? Answer is yes. Second question has to do with first one has to do with facies. What are facies? I'll ask it as a question. What am I looking for on a person's face? That would tell me they have facies. Where do we hear that term? Anybody, somebody?
If they had like a stroke, they might have like drooping on one side.
Perfect. That's what I was hoping for. That's good old stroke, facies, right? Do I see that drooping, that sagging, right? Between the left and the right, that would tell me that there's something about this face, just looking at it, that it's not congruent on both sides. There's some facies there. Maybe I would also see that drooping in the eye as well, right? I see eye, I might see it here in the corner of the mouth, but I'm looking to see if it's symmetrical. Face is symmetrical. There's no facies, no drooping, right? Expression, affect looks pleasant, looks calm, looks angry, looks tense. You can come up with descriptive words to talk about your partner's affect in terms of what you're seeing in terms of general face expression, neutral expression, happy, pleasant, however you want to describe that one. I'm okay with that one. And then we go down to, when I'm looking at the face and I move down to the neck. And with the neck, let me get on camera here. Okay, there's my center. Let's scrub shirt on my left and right's backwards. So we're looking at the neck. Again, just inspection. So it says for inspecting neck for symmetry, do I see any visible thyroid enlargement or tracheal deviation? Now I put here by my notes for this skill, I can inspect for some stuff in the neck, different left side versus right side. But for tracheal deviation, I put that as a palpate skill. So you must make a note to add palpate there, because you can't inspect for tracheal deviation. You may or may not see it. I'll tell you why. Because when it comes to trachea and being able to visualize, or in my case, I suggest palpating it, I'm going to ask all of you to grab your windpipe. Feel under your neck, grab your windpipe, and then once you find it, mine is right here between my two fingers, follow my trachea down, follow my trachea down, follow my trachea down. Does it end up in this center notch here? So we call it a sternal notch. You should feel this sternal notch. If you come down off your clavicle, let me see, I'm doing it this way. My two clavicles will end somewhere in through here. If I keep following my fingers down to where they come together, they should, or come across here, they should hit somewhere down here by my sternal notch. Do you feel your sternal notch? Do you feel your trachea? Trachea is the windpipe, and it moves. You should be able to move that one, right? All the way up, I can feel my trachea all the way up to here. So for me, that requires some palpation to see if it's deviated off to the left. Maybe there's a tumor or a mass or something that may be pushing it one way or another. But ideally, that trachea would be running down the midline. So just note that there are two skills involved with that, as I'm inspecting it first, and then I can transition into my either palpation skills or my ask skills. I'll give you choice there. Since I already was talking about the neck and doing this, I might go ahead and now move into my inspection skill about the trachea. If there's no deviation there, I can go ahead and palpate it as well while I'm there. Ask skills, I don't place them anywhere. I always say palpate last, ideally. But ask is one of those things that are kind of like, okay, that was an interesting one. So what are these ask skills he's talking about, Dr. Nasha? I'm going to tell you right now. Cranial nerve 5 has to do with sensation skills. So in our lab, and I don't have it here today, I will have Q-tips there. It's a skill you have to touch and ask. I'll use this today and simulate this as my Q-tip. In ×6 areas, soft or dull. Flip it to this side. Oh, sharp. Okay, sharp or dull. Here, middle, and then bottom. I'm checking the sensation of cranial nerve 5. If the patient can identify all of the nerves of cranial nerve 5. 6 areas, 1, 2, left to right, and left to right. Always left to right. I'm noticing differences between left and right. Sensation ×6. The other skill, ask. I will ask them to clench their jaws, jaw clench. Okay. Cranial nerve, also checking cranial nerve 5 is intact. Cranial nerve 7, raise brows. Can you raise your brow? Are they equal? Are you raising them equal bilaterally, right? Can you show your teeth, which I just did. If you have them clench, you can show your teeth. Is the smile symmetrical? Frown, is it frown symmetrical? And puff your cheeks. Is that also symmetrical? So I'm asking the patient to do these things. You know, clench your jaw for me. Show me your teeth. Raise your brow. Frown. puff your cheeks. These are ask skills. While I'm asking the patient to do stuff, I might just go ahead on down to my other ask skill. These two down here I told you were also ask skills. Assess cranial nerve. 11, shrug the shoulders with resistance. So for that, I would lay my hands on their shoulders from the back of them and say, raise your shoulders, shrug your shoulders, shrug your shoulders. Is that symmetrical? Ask, can you show me range of motion of your neck? Do this, do that, sides. The neck goes what? Neck goes forward, it goes back, it goes left, it goes right, and it goes round, round, and round, and round. That's kind of like a pivot on a pivot joint, a ball on a pivot joint. That's what the head does. Left, right, side, side, left, right. Can they do those things? I would ask them to do those things. So I've covered all of that. So that only leaves me now with my real palpation skills related to this particular module. So this is where I am going to ask you all to come back on the screen for me, please, because I'm going to do a cursory sign off of you. As I'm looking at you all do this, I'm going to be looking at you do this. I want you to do this with me, and I want to be looking at you. So the first one will be, let me get you back up here so I can get you all back on screen. Oh, darn Zoom. There you go. Okay, there's all there you all are. Okay. Hey, do I have everybody there? Why am I missing? I'm still missing. Somebody's not here. Oh, there you all are. Okay, now I see you all. Okay, perfect. Now I can see you all are here. Perfect. So two things I want to show you. First, palpate of the thyroid. You palpate of the thyroid. Thyroid is a little tricky thing because to palpate for the thyroid, you need to stand. Let me try to find my little graphic for this. You need to stand in back. Oh, here it is. You need to stand in back of your person. Put this up to the camera. Okay, there's a picture of this in your textbook as well. The thyroid. Let me go over there. Okay, I'll trust it's there. Is it there? Am I in the camera? Yes. So it talks about the landmarks that we're looking for. And then here is the hand position of your hand. Oh, it's got a glare. Take the glare. Oh, that's better. Your hands behind the patient to palpate their thyroid. Right? So you're standing behind them with your hands this way. And you're going to ask them to swallow. Okay? And you're going to feel the movement in that area when you have them swallow. You can see this on page 224. And you will see if there's any kind of a goiter or a nodule there. You're on the sides of the thyroid from the back of them. Swallow. When they do that swallow movement, if you feel your throat, when you swallow, you should feel your throat apparatus swallow. You will feel it move, and if there's a goiter there, it will present itself to you upon the swallow. Okay, so you can practice first on yourself. Do I feel anything on my own self? When I position my hands down here on the left and right area, trying to feel for this thyroid. And when I swallow and release, does it feel any different? That's the first thing I would tell you. The lymph nodes. This is a series, and these account for a lot of points for this whole section. If you look at your paper, it adds up to 11. So I like running these series myself with you, and I like to see you on camera. Pre-auricular, there's a series to these, and there's series, pre-auricular, postauricular, occipital, tonsillar, mandibular, submental, anterior, and posterior cervical chains. What does all that mean? And there's information about head assessment in your book on page 217 and also page 261, 262. I'm palpating preauricular is this area in front of my ears. These two fingers, comparing left and right, you're gently kind of in a circular motion, massaging this area in front. Andre, you join us? I need to see you do it. I need to see you doing this series with me. Thank you, Rosa. I'm massaging this area preauricular, in front of the ear, preauricular. And I'm feeling for if there's any nodules that will tell me that the lymph nodes are swollen. Postauricular, I slide from here to behind the ear and I palpate. Post, I go from pre to slide behind for post. Okay. Who's up there looking at me? Rachel, I need you with me. Post. Then it says occipital. Occipital, where's occipital at? Back here, right? So I'm sliding from pre, post to occipital. Is there any nodules or any growths back here of the lymph nodes? Then we go to tonsillar. I slide that down under the tonsils, under the tonsils, under the tonsils. The tonsils are in through here. Do I feel anything? Submandibular, under the mandible, under the mandible. Do I feel anything? You have to go up, or I'm just showing my screen. Submandible. Do I, oh, I can feel my tongue and stuff down there. Trying to talk to you as well. Submental is a bit in front of the chin. Up here in the very front, submental. Submental, right up here under the front of the chin. And Dee, are you with me? I can't see you, you're so far back. I need to get you, can you come closer to camera? I need to, because I'm trying to see this. Brandon, Gabby, and Sarah Lee, are you there? I need you on camera if you're there. Okay, I need everybody on camera so I can see you. And then anterior cervical chain, if you take your neck here has a muscle. It's a muscle. You feel that muscle here? Feel this anatomy here. You should have your neck muscle. It helps stabilize that neck, right? On both sides, I can feel it. In the front of that muscle is the anterior chain. It runs up and down, up and down. And in front of the muscle is the anterior chain. And then I flip to the posterior chain, which is behind that muscle. Okay? And I have checked all the places on the head and neck where lymph nodes live. All right. Let's take it from the top of the series. Preauricular, postauricular, occipital, tonsillar, submandibular, good, submental, nice, anterior cervical chains like anterior, up and down, anterior cervical chain. It's on the neck, up and down, this muscle here, right in front of that muscle. Posterior cervical chain in the back of that area. Okay? Let me run it again with all of you. Ready? Let me watch. Preauricular. Nice. Postauricular. Good. I like what I'm seeing. Occipital. Nice. Submandibular. Submandibular. Beautiful. Submental. Submental. Anterior cervical chain. Up and down on the chain. Up and down. Julie, I'm watching your hands. And you see up and down on the chain. There we go. And posterior cervical chain. Andre, you're going up and down on that, not across, but you're going, I can't see your hands. You got it interesting. Oh, you got a collar off. That's what I'm missing. Okay, up and down. Okay, there you go. Okay.
And the tonsils?
Tonsillar? Tonsillar, yes.
Because we skipped it, that's all.
Oh, did I skip tonsillar? Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Well, okay, you caught me. All right, tonsillar. Show me tonsillar. What if I do them out of order? Can you still do them? You know where they are? Okay, postauricular. Okay, I'm not gonna help you. Submental. Submental. Julia, submental. Thank you. You're showing me mandible. Submandibular. Go ahead and show me your submandibular now. Submandibular, submandibular. Eukarya, submandibular. Thank you. Anterior cervical chain. Good. Preauricular. Preauricular. I'm looking. Preauricular. Posterior cervical chain. Nice. Okay. Got it. You get those, you've got the lion's share of the points right there. That, you know, that series. If a student loses that series and forgets lymph nodes on this one, they are screwed. I will tell you, it's almost impossible to pass this assessment because that's 9 points. 9 points for each one of those dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What am I counting wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Plus then these other two down here. 7 points of the 11 for that section. That's a lot. So don't forget lymph nodes. I had that happen one semester. It was painful. I tried. I was like, okay, you still have time left. You have 10 minutes. Anything else? All right. And that covers our head, neck, and lymph. Okay, so head, neck, lymph. Head, cranial nerves, 5 and 7, neck, and thyroid, and lymph. And don't forget cranial nerve 11, and don't forget your range of motion of that neck as well. That will also be indicative of head, neck, lymph. Any questions on head, neck, lymph? Okay. So I'm going to stop. I am going to stop the recording.